Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Drew Jets Show. And the Jets just beat the Carolina Panthers 27-0, getting our first preseason win of the season. Let's go ahead and talk about the good and the bad from today's preseason win. So since we won, we have to start off with the bad, but I can't really say anything bad that happened in this game. I mean, only really bad thing that I could say is Tim Boyle threw an interception, but outside of that, it was a pretty good day from the New York Jets. I mean, starting off on the offensive side of the things, Zach Wilson once again had another solid preseason outing. He completed 14 of his 20 passes for 123 yards and also tossed a touchdown, and he also played an entire half. Last week against the Cleveland Browns, he played most of the first quarter, but this week he played an entire half, which is great to see because Zach Wilson needs these reps. If you want to see what we have in Wilson, you need to see him play, and that's exactly what the New York Jets did today. And on these 20 passing attempts he had, and really throughout the entire game, he didn't look panic. He looked like he knew what he was doing. As he said last week, it looked like he knew he had a plan in place, and he looked calm, cool, collective in the pocket, was making the right reads, was not doing anything stupid. He really looked like a solid quarterback. And whenever the Panthers' first team defense was playing, Zach Wilson didn't look bad against them either. You know, he played great against the backups, but didn't look bad against the starters, which obviously is a pretty important thing. So yeah, an overall pretty solid preseason outing from Zach Wilson, and that's back-to-back weeks now that Zach Wilson has played good football in the preseason. Also want to say that Tim Boyle didn't play bad as well. He finished the day completing 9 of his 10 passes for 84 yards with an interception. So technically, Tim Boyle didn't have an incompletion today. It's just one of his completions went to the other team. But overall, you know, solid performance from Tim Boyle. You know, whenever he was in, the Jets really didn't ask Boyle to do much outside of just throwing on a third down here and there, because every time Boyle was in, the Jets pretty much just ran the ball up the Panthers' mouth. And that was a great game plan because Carolina couldn't stop the New York Jets run. We ended the day with 141 rushing yards, with our leading rusher being Israel Abanikanda, who balled today. He finished the day with 12 carries for 56 yards, averaging 4.7 yards a carry. And one of his runs was a long 26-yarder that almost ended up in the end zone. And on that run, he displayed a nasty spin move and also showcased his game-breaking speed that he was praised for so much heading out of Pittsburgh. So great performance from Israel Abanikanda, and really just the entire running back room. Travis Dye had a good performance, 10 carries for 32 yards. Michael Carter looked like his old 2021 self, having 4 carries for 19 yards, averaging 4.8 yards a carry. And even Demaria Crockett, 5 rushes, 17 yards, 3.4 yards a carry. You know, everyone in this running back room looked great as well. You know, can't forget Zonovan Knight, 4 carries, 13 yards. It was just overall a really good day for this New York Jets running back room. One of the big reasons that we won the football game today. And the running backs just overall played great because our top 3 receivers in today's game all were running backs. Michael Carter, 2 catches, 34 yards. Abanikanda, 3 catches, 31 yards. And Travis Dye, 3 catches for 25 yards. And Abanikanda playing great in the passing game is a good thing, because one of his biggest concerns heading into the draft this year was that Abanikanda can't do anything in the passing game. This dude is just completely absent when teams are throwing the football. But today, 3 catches, 31 yards. That's definitely a step in the right direction. The offensive line also played good today as well. I mean, obviously, whenever you have a strong performance running the football, that tends to mean that, you know, the offensive line is doing a good job run blocking. You know, Mekhi Becton looked good today as well. I want to say he played 27 snaps, which is more than the New York Jets expected. They were, you know, hoping 25 snaps. So 27 obviously is a great thing, and Joe Tippmann did his thing today once again, really pushing for that starting center job that, who knows, he might win come week 1. But overall, outside of 1 sack that they allowed, it was a pretty good day from the offensive line. And whenever our starting offensive line was going up against that Panthers starting defensive line, they didn't look bad at all. They looked a lot better than I was expecting. Now, yes, there was no Brian Burns, so who knows how it would have looked if he was playing. But overall, they did a solid job against the Panthers starting defense line, which is a good thing. And then Nathaniel Hackett's red zone play calling. I mean, every time we went to the red zone, I want to say we ended up with a touchdown, and not a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown. The Jets struggled so much last year when it came to passing in the red zone, but Nathaniel Hackett cooked up some great passing red zone touchdown plays, and all of our touchdowns in the red zone also came with, I want to say, within 2 yards of the end zone. So just great job play calling in the red zone by Nathaniel Hackett, and our tight ends, Kenny Yeboah, Zach Kuntz, and E.J. Jenkins, get involved on those touchdowns. Congratulations to those guys. And on the defensive side of things, I mean, obviously, there's nothing to complain about whenever the other team scores 0 points. I mean, whenever you shut out your team, obviously you're doing a lot right. And one of the things the New York Jets did tremendously in this game was rushing the quarterback. I mean, the depth we have on our defense line, we knew was just insane, but today was just proven that the defense line depth is crazy. We finished today with 5 sacks. The players that had those sacks were Cornyn Jefferson, Deslin Alexandre, Bruce Hector, who actually had a strip sack, so plus points to him, Will McDonald, and Jermaine Johnson, and Bryce Huff had half a sack. So those guys were getting a lot of action today, and whenever we weren't sacking the quarterback, we were constantly just applying pressure to both Bryce Young and Matt Corral. And whenever the Panthers had their first team offense in against our backup defense looked good. They didn't look like they were lost there. The Panthers weren't beating them to death like I thought they would. The backup defense held the ground, and of course, Carolina ended up scoring 0 points during those 3 drives as well. So just an overall good performance from our defense today. Jimmy Moreland also had an interception on the very last play, and today with 2 defensive turnovers. I mean, not much that you can complain about at all. It was a pretty fun preseason game to watch. Next week, we play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so definitely excited for that game. And without any hesitation, that's the end of the video. I'm yours, Jet, signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.